All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and in this video, I want to talk about the bodybuilder that I feel like had the best conditioning at the 2020 Arnold Classic, or one of the best conditioned guys at the 2020 Arnold Classic. This guy was shredded to the bone, and that is Maxx Charles. Now, I really wanted to make a video about Maxx because I really feel like he was overlooked in this lineup. He ended up taking 8th at this year's Arnold Classic, and I think the reason for that is because there were so many big names in this show. And the conversation leading up to this show was about all these guys that aren't Maxx. Big Ramy, William Bonac, Dexter Jackson, some of these bigger names. And Maxx Charles really wasn't in that conversation at all leading up to this show, and rightfully so. I mean, a lot of the shows that Maxx has done recently, he has not had good showings. He's been struggling to be a top 6 guy at very, you could argue, small pro shows. He really hasn't had that great of a competition season leading up to the Arnold Classic, but I've got to give props where props are due. I think Maxx looked phenomenal at this year's Arnold Classic. I think he nailed it 110%. We talked about Morgan Asti. He had phenomenal conditioning as well. I think Maxx and Morgan were probably the 2 most conditioned guys, but Maxx was really the guy that impressed me the most because of the improvements that he's made. I mean, just every shot that Maxx hits, he looks just shredded to the bone. His most muscular is insane. From the back, his hamstrings are shredded. Vascularity all throughout his hamstrings and glutes. I mean, he just looks phenomenal here, and I really do believe he was overlooked. Now, the one thing that has always been a criticism of Maxx is that his legs are downsized compared to his upper body. But this is where we see good conditioning can overcome a lot of things, like a lot of problems with a physique. Now, even though Maxx's legs are on the smaller side, he was so ripped here and his legs were so separated and had such detail, they didn't look to be a problem. Now, when he doesn't come in this crazy shape, you don't see that separation and detail in his legs, and it makes them look smaller and it makes them look worse. So this is what we're talking about when we talk about other bodybuilders coming in shape, is even though they might have a lagging body part, if you can bring that conditioning and have that separation and detail, it can overcome a lagging body part. And I think in a lineup like this, Maxx Charles really deserves props, because if we're being honest with ourselves, a lot of the guys that we were looking forward to seeing here came in off. And a lot of the guys in this lineup did not bring the conditioning. A lot of them. Most of your favorite guys didn't really bring the conditioning that we're used to seeing. And Maxx was one of the few guys, even though nobody was talking about him, he wanted to prove a point here, and he wanted to make a statement, and he nailed it. He really nailed his conditioning here. And honestly, I would have liked to see him in that first call. I would have liked to see him compared with those top 4, top 5, top 6 guys. I think he would have compared favorably because his conditioning was so good. Like, honestly, when I was watching the live stream for prejudging and Maxx came out, I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, this dude is shredded, especially when you saw all the other guys come out that weren't. You could clearly see the difference between Maxx's level of conditioning and everybody else. And I really think he deserves some recognition for what he was able to achieve here. And again, recognize the fact that maybe he was overlooked. I mean, 8th place for someone conditioned like that. I mean, it might send the message that conditioning isn't as important as being big. If you look at Big Ramy still taking 3rd, he wasn't in terrible condition, but he certainly wasn't what everyone was expecting to see. Putting a guy in shape like Maxx was in 8th place, to me, kind of sends the message that conditioning doesn't matter if you're not as big as some of these guys. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who do you guys think was the most shredded bodybuilder at the 2020 Arnold Classic? And what do you think specifically of Maxx taking 8th place here? Thank you guys for watching the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.